And we're back live. We're actually almost at the middle of today's lineup, so thank you for those who are still tuning in. We're and time flies fast when you're having fun, I guess. So we're still streaming live on our Readers Magnet Facebook page, Readers Magnet YouTube channel, on Twitter or on our Twitter account, and on the Festival of Storytellers Facebook page, rather. Sorry. So for those who are interested, you can subscribe on these social media accounts and turn on your post notifications. So if we have more events, upcoming events, you can catch us live. So we had just finished our first live Author of the Hour with Eleanor Vicheta and Joanne White, where they discussed Joanne's book and her journey. And since it's live, we're encouraging everyone to leave comments and questions. Yeah, so there's still upcoming Author of the Hour sessions. So for those who are tuning in, you can comment down any questions for them to answer, any statements that you may want to share for them to read, and also share their thoughts. So it was your first live. I mean, the previous video was a pre-recorded one,
Yes.
but this one is your first live. So how was it? Like, what are your maybe takeaways?
Actually, for this one, it's quite as we were watching the two authors interacting with each other, talking about their books as they're trying to relate their inspirations and things that they have been through throughout their experience and how they're writing the books. It's actually really great knowing we have like an avenue where authors can like collaborate, connect, and talk to each other and give us give like inspiration to each other and how they write this and how they started doing this because no man is an island and some of the best materials can come out from collaborations all the time.
Yeah, so he actually also mentioned it earlier that it's quite surprising how they met by chance, and seeing that both of their books are have something quite in common. Like Ellie's book, Eleanor Cacheta's book, is about her one caregiver's journey, is her story about her taking care of her mother, while Joanne White's book, More Heaven, if I'm not mistaken, is also a story about caring for like the disabled, or most specifically, it's about these,
Autism.
yes, autism, like
Yes.
these children who have autism, and how she managed to take care of them and to maybe encourage them to show the world that there's much more to them than just this disability, right?
Yes, it's actually quite true. Because as Joanne's book was actually based on a true story, More Heaven, because every child is special. It's about six children with autism and special needs, and their teacher who give them a chance to learning in life despite the challenges and lack of support. So this book is actually fascinating and also really inspirational as autism is one of the common things for kids right now having like a disability and with autism you need to understand the kid and how to deal with it, so this book is actually inspirational for those parents, for those people for like who knows or who are dealing with someone with autism, and who this book is also will inspire you to not give up and like try to give them more time, try to be patient and teach them how to like deal with the real world because as we all know autism is quite hard to deal with
Maybe for those parents who are experiencing this, or who have children who are experiencing this, it can be quite maybe frightening, quite scary. It's like walking on eggshells with how they are to take care of them, since it's not, while every child is special, but when you have autism, it's extremely different. Even though they may share like this common diagnosis, it can still manifest differently in every child. And it's amazing that literature is now becoming a means for authors like Joanne to discuss or to tackle this quite sensitive topic, or this very maybe like unique topic, and share it to the world in such a way that everyone can have access and can share it to
everyone.
yes.
Because I mean, with her book, it's giving you, or I mean, it's about accepting the uniqueness of everyone, participating in like as a kid with an autism, you need to accept them. You have a commitment to teach them, to inspire them, to have patience for them, and to accept that they're unique, they're special. There's nothing wrong with them. They just need your patience, and also you need to participate on like as autism has their own like fantasy world all the time. They have like their imaginary friends. You need to be patient with them. You need to participate with how their world works while you're at the same time you're engaging with them and telling them how to do it in a real world, even though you're trying to deliver it in their own fantasy little world. So that's how her book is actually talking about and how you like experiment on being patient with this kid, even though it started being chaotic and you don't know how to do this. Because even as a mother, also with a kid like this, it's not really like that easy. But so I mean, this book would actually really be helpful for every mom or anyone who has the same problem.
And it's wonderful that Joanne chose this specific topic. Like for there are a plethora of other possible topics to discuss. Maybe she can even write about fiction. She can write about romance, but she chose to really dive deep into this and like let inform others. Like there's much more to children than just this diagnosis, and it's really sort of like a breakthrough to when it comes to the stigma around autism, like especially now.
Yes, like as it was before, right now it's actually open right now because we have social media and everything, and like bullying is one of like the really bad things, or I mean like the worst thing possible happen to a kid when they are going to school. Like as a person who I mean I can't really say it, but like someone who has autism or any of disabilities, sometimes it's quite hard to go to school, to interact with other kids, when everyone will try to have their own thoughts with you. Like bullying is one of the problems of most kids right now. Like you can see on the internet there's already like social media bullying, how much more before like kids can hear like a lot of names with them nicknames that's really hard to accept for them. So a lot of kids like this that has disabilities are tend to be isolated from everyone. They would not like to get involved with any other kids, with any other person. They would just like to like stay at home. They just become like alone, just deal with their own things because it starts with how they other kids interact with them, bullying,
Yes.
and a lot of
In
stuff.
line with bullying, I mean, the books like this is such a great means of letting children know or understand that bullying is bad, and it lets parents be more mindful about their children and maybe like probably monitor them a lot stricter, or like just look into their behavior and really see to it that they're not under any influence, any bad influence, or any they're not experiencing anything bad towards them. And other than probably books, like what do you think is perhaps, since you've mentioned that bullying is prevalent in this
Yes.
society, like what do you think how can society probably like stop?
I mean, it's not about uh, stopping the kids, but it's about educating the parents first. Because I mean, kids that are doing bullying other kids actually have their own problems as a kid. I mean, maybe you don't know they have things that going on at their home. Parents or like drug addicts or alcoholics, or maybe they're not catered properly at home. Their moms doesn't care about them. So sometimes those kids that are bullying are actually just letting out their frustrations to someone that they see that are weaker than them. So sometimes it starts from their home, and you need to educate parents first before you try to stop and educate a kid. Because right now, even though you try and educate someone like a kid, if it's already like etched in their mind and how they are, their attitude and everything, it would be really hard to fix that sometimes. So starting with that, you need to educate those parents that it is not a good thing to judge someone on their outer or even inner things because everyone has their own problems. Everyone has their own problems, have their own disabilities. I mean, it's something like that. I wonder,
I mean, it's not just their parents probably being in like drugs or something. It can also be how they interact with their children, like the bad reinforcements or negative reinforcements can also influence a lot to how children interact with each other. Right?
yes, it's actually quite true because some other parents right now, especially with how things are going throughout with our society right now, as kids are like younger and younger kids are having kids also.
Yes.
So it's quite hard for them to become parents and educate their own kids. Sometimes it's becoming a problem as they would start like leave them with care with someone else, and they cannot even educate properly themselves. So how can they even educate their kids? So it's actually hopefully like the book of Joanne can inspire a lot of people and can hopefully a lot of people can read it and a lot of people can spread the awareness of having a special person like with you and how can you deal with it, especially with um, the kids around him or her also with how to stop having negative things for them and they need patience, they need understanding, and they need a lot of things for them.
Yeah, so for those who are interested in maybe learning more about autism or learning more how to maybe deal with children who are experienced this, you can grab a copy of Joanne White's book, More Heaven, because every child is special, rather, on amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com, and on our website, readersmagnet.com. One thing that Joanne mentioned is during the 1 hour interview is that giving people a chance. It's important to give people a chance. So, what are your thoughts about like giving people a chance? Also, one comment asked like, how many chances should you give? So what are
I
your
mean,
thoughts about that?
every giving chances to people actually differentiates to anyone. Like if a significant person had a problem with you, or maybe if it's your friend, like you had a conflict with your friend, and then you give chances. It's quite different if you give chances to your friend because maybe you can give unlimited chances because it's your friend, and all people like make mistakes a lot of times. So giving chances is one of the things that is quite hard for some other people also. As um, example, as a partner, like if I have partner that is cheating, I can give them a chance to do that one. But if it's a friend that had, and I mean, giving chances is also depends on what he did, what she did to you. If you can give a chance to them, like if it's a minor thing that you only had like a little bit of misunderstanding, a little bit of conflict, I can we can settle on talking. Let's give a chance to each other. But if it's about something so heavy that you can't even take to look at her or to look at him, that one might change a little bit. Maybe I can give a chance to her or to him maybe a couple of years from now, or maybe I can't even give a chance to them, something like that.
So it really depends maybe on the severity of
Yes.
like what
Who the person
what they
is,
committed, yes,
who
and
the person is.
of course. But when in that line, like, for example, if your friend did something wrong, but it's something that is quite unforgivable, like the severity is like very serious, would you be willing to give them a chance? Like you're close, but what they did is like totally it left you really
Yeah,
devastated.
that's the thing that I was saying, like it depends on the severity of the problem or the conflict that they have done to you. Because I mean, if someone did hurt you so much, how can you give that person a chance? I mean, maybe I can after I am healed, or maybe after I forget about it, or maybe after I accept that he or she did it. I mean, let's like put it as an example. If I have a close friend and then he killed my dog, what can I do with that? I can't accept any chances or any sorries for that. So it depends on the severity. But as you said, if it's really severe and like it's a big no no.
So, well,
Yes.
I mean, giving a chance may seem like this very kind, easy thing to do. There still needs to be boundaries put up, right? So, while you need to be kind to others, it's still important for you to be kind to yourself. And I think that's one of the probably essential or focal points in Joanne White's book is to be kind to others and I mean like while they may seem like normal, they may seem like regular people, you really never know what they're experiencing, what they have, and it's also what one thing that they tackled, like their may this disability can seem like a very massive or huge thing, and while others have physical disabilities, society tends to be more to be kinder towards them because they have obvious need of help, while those who are experiencing like mental disabilities or those who may seem normal but actually also have equally difficult time, society tends to neglect or to easily just probably like not
Not
accept
show,
them.
yes, not show interest. Also, I mean, there's a lot of happening. This it's a lot of things happening right now. Also, I mean, before it was quite worse, but right now it's more worse. I mean, with but also with how things with social media are going on right now, we can share things that how to be patient, how to deal with this, how you should treat them, and something like that. At least with even though social media helps a lot of people, like there's a lot of negative things on social media with accepting those kind of things, with accepting those kind of people, also the disabilities and special needs. Sometimes it's a bit hard for them also. So at least on social media also we can show how we should deal with them and also how we can share and be thoughtful, be kind, and how we should be patient to
So
them all the
there are
time.
already a lot of different means that people can share and can inform others on how to be, like as we said, how to be kinder. And it's really just a matter of a person's individual interest in like digging deeper into these matters and like learning and really embodying these changes. So I guess again, if you are interested, you can grab a copy of Joanne White's book or any other similar concepts that tackle these concepts.
Yeah, I mean, like with this kind of things, have you experienced bullying before?
Fortunately, no. I mean,
Or have you seen someone being bullied because of they have there's kind of disabilities, like maybe they're a bit slower than everyone. Maybe they have a disability, maybe they have only one eye, they have only one arm,
I
they
guess
have more than fingers,
I guess
something
with
like that.
that, it again with that and with social media's influence, it can be quite unavoidable for people to like
Yes,
bully each other, especially now that it can be yeah, it can be spread and it can easily become like this sort of source of laughter, like with
yes,
memes. It can
yes.
these abilities can easily be used as memes.
Materials as for people's happiness sometimes. I mean, it's not a bad thing that we can use it as something that we can have fun with, but we should also think about that person being used for that kind of thing. I mean, would you want your face to be seen, to be laughed about with everyone because you have this disability that you have with? it's not a good thing. But I mean, we're not saints that, I mean, even I have laughed on one of those things, but I mean, as a whole thing, like we should think about more of that.
Yes, I guess it can be quite divisive. Like social media can be quite divisive, especially in terms of like separating yourself from what you are seeing. Like you can't really reflect on, you can't really, when you see something like a meme or something immaterial, you can't really begin to think like, would I laugh if this happens to me? Like you're just
Yeah,
thinking of what you're seeing.
yeah.
It kind of like blurs the line
You
between.
need to put your shoes in that person's shoes at least,
Yeah.
so that you will know how he or she would feel about it. I mean, that's why, as on Joanne's book also, it will explain a lot of how to deal with those kind of things in society right now. How can the children accept? How the adults should let the children accept those kind of things? How can those adults also um, teach the kids
Yes.
how to be kind, how to talk to them, how to understand those people with special needs, how they should not try to make fun of them, how they should not be negative. Because sometimes being, I mean, as someone, maybe I don't have an experience with bullying also, and I haven't seen one. And fortunately for me, I haven't seen one in my school or back when I was still studying or even when I was working. It was not really not a massive thing, but it wasn't seen as a good thing when I was still studying. So I haven't seen one. But as a kid growing, sometimes if you're getting bullied, making fun with every single time, sometimes it starts off with giving depression to that person, having those kind of thoughts that maybe I should not be, maybe I should not exist, maybe I should not be like this. So it might give them a really big negative impact to their lives. So we need to think about how we talk to like any person, a normal person, an old person, a kid, or a special person. We should really think about how we talk to them, how we deal with them, so that one word can be a big impact on one person. It can be a good thing for some person, it can be a bad thing. I mean, sometimes walking on a hallway, passing through a janitor, or passing through someone, telling them you're pretty, telling them good morning, you look so awesome right now, it can make their day really good. Like you just made their day. So at least that one word can give someone a big impact. And if you're walking sometimes and you tell someone you look so disgusting, it will also be a big impact for them because they will think about it. Why did that person think that I'm disgusting? What did I do? What did this thing? So one word, two words, or anything we say on a person would actually be a great impact. So uh, being kind and accepting everyone is actually
We want to
really
be about more like being considerate and like really thinking that one one small move can really make a significant change. So that has been Eleanor Gacheta and John White's discussion. And after a while, we will also have another author of the hour session, but this time it will be with an interviewer. It's not already with an author. So we will have Walter Clark Balboa. And Walter Clark Balwell has three books, so you'll be expecting to know more about, as he has it's a three trilogy. It's three books that are in series, and it's a really exciting book, and it talks about a lot more like future modernity and how things maybe will be in the future. And So it's kind of like a big shift from Eleanor Gacheta and Joan White's discussion. So it will be more exciting, I guess.
fantasy, because Walter Clark Bottle Balfo's book talk more about on the fantasy side, and on Eleanor and Joanne's book is actually talking more on the realistic side as we dealt with society and issues with how we deal with a special needs person. While Walter Clark Bottom maybe you get inspired to um, have read it as it is a fictional universe that is centralized on a lot of things in physics and futuristic things.
So I'm actually quite interested to learn more about about his books and of course his journey in writing them. So I'm not quite familiar with this trilogy. So hopefully I will tune in with his interviews. Hopefully I get to learn more about his story.
Yes, so please stay tuned also as we will be still here and we'll be talking about a lot of our authors and also
So there's still more to come.
and don't forget to comment and the authors will be can answer.
Yeah, so the authors can read your answers, can read your comments, so don't hesitate to leave some.
And stay tuned in our YouTube channel and Facebook page and also our Twitter as we'll be still be live.